Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seed to Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Sag. That's Sag Sun, Sag Moon, Sag Rising for the month of February 2025. I want to welcome all my new subscribers, and I want to say hello to my tried and true who have been following me for years. It has been quite a journey, has it not? And to my patrons on Patreon, thank you very much for your continued support. And welcome to my new members of my channel. Um, thank you for your support as well. I really do appreciate this. So, before we get into the specific astrology for Sag and the card reading for Sag, I will timestamp that so you can skip forward or skip back, whatever, whatever you want to watch. You can watch them now, you can watch them later in the month. Maybe the beginning, the middle, and the end, and see if in fact that this is what happened. Like you can do your own research on your own self, which is kind of cool. Now I give the option where I suggest that people read their ascendant, they read their sun or their moon, so you can see which one resonates more for you if you're so inclined to do that. So let's talk about the different vibrations that we are encountering now that we're in 2025. The first thing I want to talk about is how the universal year has changed. Last year, 2024, was an 8 year. As you sow, so shall you reap. It was a manifestation year. So many people felt very manifest last year. Now, of course, everything we manifest is not necessarily makes us happy. So, there's that. But a lot of manifestation, a lot of karma. The 9 year is about separating the wheat from the chaff. So the 8 year is the harvest. And now we get to decide what we want to keep and what we want to let go of, right? What serves us? What do we want to bring forward into the next cycle? Because remember, 2026 is a 10-1 year, so it's a new beginning. But we're in the 9 years, so we have to decide what we want to take with us and what we want to let go. 9 requires us to be very forgiving. 9 is a healing number. In fact, in the tarot, it's the Hermit. So it's about seeking, searching for answers, and you may be the very person who has the answers. So put your light, shine your light so people can find you. They might have to climb up the side of a mountain, but you're worth it. And then we have the 2 of the February, right? February is the second month. And 2 is the High Priestess. So this is about revelations, secrets revealed. But it's, secrets revealed, yes, but it really is direct connection from crown to heart on the tree of life. So this is very powerful energy. It's a very sensitive energy, and it requires you to quiet your mind so that you can receive the end. This is about receiving. And then we have, when you add these two vibrations together, the 9 and the 2, we get the 11. So this is also a month specifically of justice and balancing of the scales. So we may actually see some justice or something to balance the scales happening this month. So that's just general information. So let's dive into the astrology. As I said, I will timestamp this. So if you're not into the astrology, you're not forced to be into the astrology. All right. So I do realize that we're looking at Scorpio. So let me move it forward. All right. So couple things, and I've said this every time I've done this, so you might have heard this already, but just in case you haven't, when I do these charts, if the planet is in water, I put it in blue. If it's in fire, I put it in red. If it's in air, I put it in yellow. And if it's in earth, I put it in green. And so at a glance, you can see what the predominant element is this month. The predominant element is water, followed by air. And then we have a little bit of fire and a little bit of earth. Um, so we can see that there is a preponderance of energy in your fourth house. Your fourth house is the house of soul. It's the house of your family. And so this can be a very sort of inwardly oriented time. You know, Sagittarius is about big picture. Sagittarius is sort of that go on an adventure. There isn't, you know, climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your dream. But this month is a little bit more finding that dream within yourself, finding that adventure by exploring your own soul, and that is the fourth house energy. Now, as a Sagittarius, you're ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter uh, is in Gemini, and this month it actually stations direct. It has been moving backwards. That's your house of relationship. So there could have been, as Jupiter was sort of reversing in your house of relationship, sort of going over some maybe rules of the road when it comes to relating. Maybe you put the rule down and you said, if you want to be in a relationship with me, we have to agree on these parameters, right? Gemini is very much a mental sign. And so it's almost like um, in order to relate, there are certain things you have to agree on. And now it's going to be moving forward and things are going to be moving forward in your house of relationship. It could bring in a new relationship with Jupiter there. Jupiter often is somebody from far away or from an alien, like not from here. So you might meet some people from other countries or other have different life experiences than you, and that can be something that comes up as Jupiter moves through that house for you. It can be it's more business oriented, and of course it is the house of marriage, but it's not necessarily the house of romance. So you've done that part. Now this is about the give and take of relationship. We see here that Venus ingress into Aries, the only thing in fire. Um, in fact, the nodes of the moon, which last month was the north node was in Aries, actually shifted with the north node now being in Pisces, the south node being in Virgo. This is along the axis of your security axis. And so you're going to be spending at least 19 months with the nodes in this area of your chart. And so issues around both emotional and physical security, financial security do come up for you. And of course, you're pretty proactive on that stuff anyway. Um, Jupiter stations at 12 of Gemini. It said that we have a full moon in Leo. Where is the full moon here? Okay, here it is, up in the ninth house. That means the sun is in the third house. This is the axis of the mind. This is the sort of the uh, Gemini axis, right? So this full moon illuminates you to something. It is square Uranus. Uranus out of your sixth house. Of course, Uranus has been in your sixth house now for about 7 years. It's going to go into um, your seventh house later this year. Uranus actually moves out of Taurus for a bit and then retrogrades back and finishes up in Taurus. And then by next year, it's out of Taurus, I believe. So we're not quite done with Uranus and Taurus, but we are going to have an opportunity to get a little taste of what Uranus in Gemini is going to feel like. Just as an aside, the United States has their Uranus in Gemini, and so the United States will be going through a Uranus return. That I believe doesn't happen until next year, but I don't think it goes as far as the United States Uranus. Um, but that'll be interesting because the United States went through a Pluto return, a Neptune opposition, a Chiron return, and then a Uranus return. So it's almost like all the outer planets had their turn at transforming the US. All right. The sun ingress into Pisces, but not before Mercury does. Mercury moves in first, and the sun moves in. Of course, moving into that fourth house, a very sensitive, inwardly oriented house. Mars stations direct in Cancer. Mars has been moving through your eighth house. It's been retrograde. Now it's going to move forward. Your eighth house is your shared resources. It's also about insurance and inheritance. These are all issues. It's a complex house. It's also a house of mediumship, so you may not be sleeping well because people are talking to you. But anyway, that's the energy. It is going to move direct. That's going to feel better, I think, than it being retrograde. And Mars in Cancer is challenge anyway, especially for someone as directed as the fire sign Sag. This is a little bit too much meandering around, and not and Sag isn't too too thrilled with that. All right, let's see. What else do I want to say? Pluto is in your third house, where it will be there for 19 years, so that's not moving. In fact, Pluto is the only planet this year that doesn't change signs. It stays in Aquarius, whereas Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, the nodes, and then of course the planets that Gemini, uh, sorry, Jupiter changes signs. So it's interesting that Pluto, the planet of change, is the only one that's not changing signs. But it has plenty of time to dig deep into that prodigious brain of yours because the third house is your logical mind. So you're going to find yourself maybe asking the question why more, if that's even possible. It'll bring out all your whyness, as it were. Your wry whyness. Anyway. All right. Oh, and then lastly, we have a new moon in Pisces in that fourth house. This might be an opportunity for you to start a new project in your home. It is Pisces, so, maybe start a little spiritual group in your home. I think that would be very interesting. All right, so that is the story, Morning Glories. Let us move on to the reading. Okay, so I will be using the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed, and we'll see what is up for you. I think February is a very introspective time, a very introspective month. And so I think that's general energy. Of course, here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're in the winter, right? We're in the depths of winter. For those of you who are down under, living on the other side of the world, of course, this is your summer. So you're less likely to be, staying at home. But this is the month to have a staycation, Sagittarius, if you happen to live um, in those regions. I know we have some watchers from Australia and New Zealand on this channel. So, and of course, we have a lot of favorite readers from those places. So, alrighty, alrighty, dighty, diddly do. Let's see what we got. The devil, temptation. Woo, baby, somebody's offering you the apple. Better be careful who's offering you the apple. Yeah, so this is temptation. It is can be issues around addiction, but it can also be uh, we're okay. So the antidote to this is always humor and laughter. That's why there's so many, so much funny stuff when you're dealing with things like 45 who's 47. Um, because it's really dark stuff. And sometimes the only way to bring the light into a situation like that is through laughter. But for you, I guess the question is there anything keeping you from your light? Is there anything tempting you, perhaps that is not for your best interest? Yeah, so what's challenging it is the moon. So what these two cards indicate to me that there may be an addiction issue here. It may not be your issue. It may be around you, but you're having to deal with it. And it's creating a lot of upheaval, a lot of emotional ups and downs. Let's see what's at the root of this. You need to make a decision. The Ace of Air. Spirit is saying you need to decide what you're going to do about this. In the past, the Page of Water. Um, that's a message. Usually, generally, it's a positive message. It is water, though, so perhaps the addiction has to do with drinking, and it could be a younger person. So there could have maybe just realized that a younger person has that issue. Let's see what's in the sky. Strength. You have the strength, and actually, I think they have the strength as well to overcome what they need to overcome. But they do have to be held responsible for their actions. See, you can't let it go in that respect. We have the Queen of Earth in the immediate future. This is about understanding the value of things. She's very pragmatic. You need to be very pragmatic, and you need to assert your values here, um, and show whoever you're dealing with where the line is, where the line is not to cross, right? This is my values, and if you don't align with my values, you can't be in my life kind of energy. Okay. Hopes and fears. Yeah, the ten of the, oh no, this isn't hopes and fears. How other people see this, the ten of air, that it's time for it to be done, that it's time to cut bait and, so to speak. What is that? Cut bait and leave? Anyway, um, your domestic situation is the Nine of Cups, getting your wish. This can also be alcohol as well. So you may have to look in a couple. You know how sometimes people who drink hide their alcohol. So look around your house, make sure there's nothing that you're not seeing. Hopes and fears, the Two of Air. You fear making the choice. You fear making the decision. And that's understandable. That's very understandable. Let's see the outcome. The Nine of Earth, the self-made person. So this is, you're protected, your finances are protected, or you need to do that. You need to not make it available, okay, to somebody. The Eight of Earth, this is hard work. And the Six of Air, moving out of troubled waters. So this will resolve itself. You need to, and this may not be like you're addicted, you're such a big problem. It could just be like you're noticing that maybe your child, your grandchild, somebody in your life is resolving their issues through altering their themselves, whether it be, through drinking or some sort of drug, uh, just to let them know that that doesn't really work, right? It doesn't work for you and it doesn't work in your space. Let's see what's underneath it all. The Two of Earth, balancing the scales. Okay. Patience, which is temperance in this deck. So healing. And then the Ten of Water, Cups. Again, there's an indication of temperance here, right? But there's an indication that there's success. So this isn't something where it's a long-standing problem that never gets better. This is maybe something new, and you put the lines in the sand, and it is a successful endeavor for you and whoever you're dealing with. Now, this could be you as well. You might notice, especially with 40, 45, now 47, you might say, hey, let's have a little vodka, right? This is water, by the way. If that was vodka, I'd be on the floor right now. That's all it would take. Um, so you may notice yourself. Try not to get addicted. Try not, you have to make sure that feeling better is something you can do without the aid of mind-altering substances. Okay, so that's what this could be, in case it's not somebody in your life and it may just be you. And then, of course, you'll be okay because the card said you'll be okay. I'll go with the cards on that one. All right, and then lastly, I'm going to pick a Starseed Oracle card just to round this reading out for you, Sag. All right, let's see what we got here. What does Sag need to know for February? February. Sagittarius, it's February. It's a new song. It's a terrible song. Water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. Well, it's so very Pisces, right? All that Pisces energy in your fourth house. That's also can be too much drinking in the house. So, all right. Water your garden. Let's see what it says. Okay. This is a beautiful card. I'll hold it up so you can see it. Isn't that lovely? I love the art on these. They're so beautiful. It says Earth is a seasonal planet, and as such, you're a seasonal being, cyclic. You can be on and in full bloom month after month, day after day. You're strongly being called to put on the brakes, rest and refuel. Take a moment to restock and replenish and slow right on down. Your body is the only body you're given, and it needs to be respected as such. You're being called to take responsibility for your well being, to put your health and body first. I know it can feel like time is running out and as if there's an that urgent things simply can't wait. However, if you keep pushing on, soon fatigue will set in. So this is another sort of indication of taking care of yourself, giving yourself the time. I would, you know, if you are in a place where you can get in the ocean or the water, I would do that. Or maybe, listen, um, fill up the bathtub, put some nice bath salts or some nice smelly thing in there, and listen to some meditative music and just really connect with the waters of the soul and do the healing that's necessary. All right, Sag. Well, you got your marching orders, which are pretty much don't march anywhere. And take care of yourself. All right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful month. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you again next month for the Taroscopes of March. Until then, much love.